How tall are you?
3 foot 11 and a half.
And you have dwarfism, correct?
Yes, I do.
Do you know what type of dwarfism you have?
I have achondroplasia, the most common type.
Okay. Do you remember at what age you realized you had dwarfism or was different from a lot of the people around you?
Um, no, I don't. So either it was really young or I just always kind of knew. Like my parents never or my mom never really hid it for me.
Hmm. How did that make you feel at the time, being young and find out about your dwarfism?
Uh, it didn't usually bother me. The only times it would bother me is when I wanted to do things like go on certain amusement park rides or stuff like that.
Hmm. And overall, now, how do you feel about living with dwarfism?
Um, it's normal, so it doesn't bother me. I just know how to do things so I can make it work.
Mhm. What are two positives you can think of about being your height?
Um, One I can say is it's very easy to win a game of hide and seek because you can hide almost anywhere.
Yeah.
And another is, you meet some rather interesting people who will come up to you sometimes.
Right. And they'll approach you to talk to you about like your height and dwarfism and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you welcome that? How do you feel about people approaching you?
As long as they're not being rude about it, I don't usually care. Like,
Mhm.
don't come up and interrupt my family dinner, but if I'm just seem chilling or walking through a grocery store, go for it.
Right. And what are two negatives you can think of about being your height?
Um, Probably the fact that it is hard to do certain things like you can't get the top thing off the top shelf or the staring. I don't mind when people come up and talk to me, but just staring. It's kind of annoying and rude.
Hmm. And do you feel self-conscious standing next to or around someone who is really, really tall?
I don't feel self-conscious. Like it doesn't bother me height wise. If it's someone I know, usually it's fine. If it's someone I really don't know very well or don't know at all, I tend to be slightly nervous because sometimes they don't see you and then they almost step on you, and that's never fun.
Right.
So more alert, but not subconscious.
Right. Okay. And interactions with little children about ages 5 to 9, how did those go for you?
Usually fine. They're usually just curious, want to know what's going on. It's usually quite cute and sweet. The parents' reactions are usually a little bit funny because they're either thinking, oh, they're going to be so upset because it's so rude to ask or whatever. Or there's some who are scared of us or scared of me and trying to drag their kids away like I have a disease. But the kids themselves are usually really fun to interact with.
Right. Right. And how about interactions with little babies?
I love little kids. I love babies. I have a daughter myself who I love. And they they seem to, most of them, either if they've never been around other kids or never seen a little person, they just kind of watch you because it's different and weird, which is
Hmm.
kind of cute. Or if they've been around other like little kids and stuff or seen another little person, they just treat you like a regular person, like any baby
Hmm.
does.
So they're almost too young to notice what's going on and really like behave a certain way about it, it seems.
They just kind of watch you because you know you look a little different,
Hmm.
but most of the time they're just normal.
Yeah. They still have a
Act
whole
like
bunch of other things they're trying to figure out too.
pretty much, yeah, they're just
Yeah.
their normal baby selves watching literally everything, trying to figure out how to move and, you know, figure out the
Hmm.
world around them.
Hmm. And do
plotting to
you,
keep mom awake half the night.
right, there is that too. Do you work?
No, I'm a homemaker. My husband provides.
And have you ever worked? Ever had a job?
No, I haven't. I married young, so or I married, my father took care of me, and then my husband did, and I've just always been a homemaker. So
Okay.
I wouldn't say I have a paying job, but I do have a job because I have to take care of everything around the house, take care of the kid, did laundry, cleaning, full-time work there.
Right, right. Right. And homemaking, being a homemaker is like one of the hardest jobs. It's an important job, but yeah, I agree with that. It's work.
It is work, it's just
Yeah.
not the work you're talking about.
Right, right. Well, if you did ever have to go out there and work, like a job that most people have to go out and work, do you think you'd face unfair treatment in the workplace? If you did work a job where you had to work around your coworkers?
Yes and no.
Hmm.
So technically, they're not allowed to discriminate. It is against the law to do so. It is called a form of discrimination,
Hmm.
but it could also make it harder. Obviously, people don't always abide by that, so they'd probably find another reason not to.
Hmm.
But yes, we can work regular jobs, and you will see us out in the world working regular jobs. Obviously, we're not going to be basketball players or something crazy like that, but
Yeah. No.
we do work. We can work regular jobs. I've heard of some doing fast food jobs, working at Walmart, factory, etc.
Hmm. Do you have any hobbies?
I have quite a few hobbies actually. Um, what I've recently taken up is streaming. I'm trying to get into streaming my games because I do like to play video games.
Hmm.
I also like to read. I do beading, and I like to cook or bake.
And with your hobbies, do you have a hard time doing or enjoying those hobbies because of your dwarfism?
Nope, because I don't. I really don't because I've figured out how to make things work.
Hmm.
I've learned how to do it.
Right. And so it doesn't stop you, you'd say?
No, it doesn't stop me. I might have to do some things different than another person would. And if the way I do it, some people might find hard to do if they were bigger, but it works for me.
Right. Are you currently in a relationship? You
I am.
mentioned,
I'm married,
right, okay, because
so
you
I have a
mentioned
husband.
your daughter, so you're married.
Yes,
And
me and my husband and my daughter.
right. And before you were married, did you find dating and things of such? Was it hard for you?
Um, well, I've only ever dated one person, which is my husband,
Hmm.
which is, I know, a little unusual, but he's not the only person I ever met who told me they liked me. So, yes and no. Some
Hmm.
people are turned off by it, and it can be harder to find dates because of that. Some people are the opposite and way too into us, and that's just bad all around. But
Hmm.
there are people you find that there are many people out there who see what we are, which is just another person, just short.
Right. Does your dwarfism have any big effects on your relationship with your husband?
Um, he's had to adjust to some things like stools everywhere. They are all over my house.
Mhm.
But otherwise, no, because he's pretty good with it. It doesn't affect regular parts of a relationship.
That's good. What advice would you give to anyone else who has dwarfism who may be struggling to meet someone to be in a relationship with?
Well, first off, is a relationship doesn't make you, so it will come when it comes. You don't have to force it. Don't force yourself into a relationship with someone you really don't like, you just afraid to be alone with. And look for, don't marry someone hastily. if you do find someone, take time to get to know them and make sure that's who you want to spend your life with. As for finding one, you'll meet someone. Just be patient.
Hmm. That's good advice.
I
And
said give anybody.
agree, it is. And what other advice would you give to anyone else who has dwarfism who may be watching this?
Um, well, I mentioned I was getting into streaming, and some people would be shy about that because of their height or whatever, or other things with their height, getting the job, finding a person to date, etc. Don't let your height stop you. Don't try to do things the exact same way a big person would, because sometimes you just can't. But don't let it stop you. Figure out how you can do it and figure out how you can do what you want to do and do it, whatever that may be for you.
Okay, that's really great advice. Also, I appreciate you taking your time and being in this interview with me, and I thank you again for everything, and I wish you the best.
Okay. Thank you for interviewing me. Hope it was informative.
Right, it was. All right, bye.
Bye.